Hey guys, it's me, Cruel, back again with another reaction video on this channel. And today I'm reacting to UP10TION for the second time ever. And this is their new song spin-off for their full album Connection, I believe it is. So a full-length album, not so sure how many songs, but probably quite a lot. Roughly, full albums have like 8 to 12 songs, right? So somewhere in between most likely. And yeah, this is only my second ever song. The last one I checked out was Light, which I think actually was the last comeback in September. But correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, I have no idea what to expect here, honestly. I quite liked Light. So let's get straight into this. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I post daily reactions on this channel. If you want to stay updated with that, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And check out my playlist to UP10TION reactions, which are now 2 in the comment section. Thanks so much, and quick shout out to my lineup of June for the Patreons. Special shout out goes out to Forder, Erdner, and Mir Servants. Thank you guys. If you're also interested, link is in the description for that Patreon. And let's get started with UP10TION's spin-off. We don't have subtitles sadly, but we're moving. Let's go. Oh, so we're in a theater right off the bat, or like, yeah, but we're not on the stage. That's funny. So we're like in front of the stage. Huh. And the what's the word? The floating lights, I guess, right? They just turned around. Like usually they would go and point on the stage, but they just turned them around off the stage, and then I used the off stage as the stage. It's kind of interesting. Funny idea. Hey, I see the eyes. For context, if you don't know what I meant the necklaces and stuff. It's building up a lot right now. Am I tripping, or either they have harmonies with at least 2 members in this chorus, or what they I think do right now is they have the guy in the center right now singing, for example, and they have a second vocal track of his voice. So they basically have had him sing twice or maybe even 3 times, and they layered those vocal tracks a little bit differently, so they're like not right on top of each other. So it sounds almost like, you know, he's like having harmony with himself, making like the voice sound much richer and grander than a single voice would usually sound like. So it's either like a real harmony or kind of fake harmony. It's not really fake harmony, but you get the point, right? That's cool. I like that. I think it's the leather, actually. Man. This is a vibe, though. Time for action? Hey, go back. I wasn't ready for that. I like his voice a lot. Oh, another one. His smirk, though. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was good. The quality of this song is very high. In general, the song. His voice is so pure. Usually I'm not a fan of pure male voices, because they're not very exotic right off the bat, and then usually in K-pop the production is so focused on sounding perfect and having, you know, like computer and autotune-esque voices that, you know, almost are hard to distinguish in between of the group. So put that onto a voice that already is not very exotic, just makes it sound like so basic. But I like that they don't use that as much, if even, the I guess auto-tune and the computer-esque effects on the voice. So it is kind of more his real voice, which, you know, is more of a pure and like simple voice in a way, and pretty high of a tone, of course, as well. But I quite like the way they do this here production-wise. So it makes it actually sound pretty good, even though I'm usually not a fan of those voices as much for the male side. They definitely do this, the computer-esque, but apparently not as much. Yeah. They also vary in that. Sometimes they do more. Really good production. Hey, okay. I like the dance too. It's pretty much sure and sexy in a way, without trying too hard. The British part. We're looking at something. You know, the way this is filmed almost reminds me a little bit of Island, the show where Hypen came out of. I've seen that on Patreon, by the way, but yeah. Basically, they had an apartment that was on top, basically, in a building. And there was like a see-through thing, like here, for example, like around him. It almost looks like that, at least. Where you could see down onto the first floor. And where you could look at was basically the ranking order stools in the first floor. And also the entry gate. So you could basically see who enters if you look down there. It was really interesting, and it looks like he is on top of that in the second floor, and all of the others are like in the first floor looking up to him, you know? It's kind of what it looks like right now. It's interesting. I just thought of that. Nice harmony. Pre-drop, I don't know. The vocals are good. Hey. Oh. Now he's joining him at the bar. Gives me Switch to Me vibes. The European Rain song. Ooh. Wait, what? Wait, we have a rhythmic rap, sing rap outro. That is absolutely very unique. I've never seen that. I love it. Hey! Ooh, that's so good. Okay, what they do really well in this, I love this bar, you know, it's very golden and yellow basically. But they do something really, really well visually as well. It's not just, and this is already like my afterthoughts here, it's not just a fantastically produced song, sound-wise, and a really cool structure, you know, with the outro, the I guess, harmony with yourself in the verses, but then the harmony, and no, sorry, not in verses, in the chorus, but then right before, in the pre-chorus, we have a harmony actually with other members. So there's some cool things in the sound department already. I really like the concept as well. It's a very mature one. It's I think the one that I was reminded of the most, and I didn't mention yet, was, for example, something like SF9's Good Boy, where they also are in such a bar. You know, they have like this shooting scene and stuff, where they're actually like having a shooting, involved in shooting with others. But yeah, it's very like they have suits on. They look good. They look like fresh. It's just like they're not trying to be overly sexy or cool. They're just like saying, "This is me, and my natural aura is cool and sexy in a way." You know, that's what it is to me. And the one thing I want to talk about the most here is visually in the music video, especially in the one in the scene here in the bar. It's really, really obvious. I think I'm gonna use a shot like this. Like this more so, I guess. Yeah, in general, I think it's not just in a bar. Yeah, it's in general. They do an insane job of like blurring the background and focusing the foreground, and also making the foreground a little bit more exposed. Like the exposure of the image quality basically is higher. So it's like brighter. It's like way brighter than the background, and it's like even here it's the case, honestly. Usually if you like look at how dark this place is where they're at, right? Even though there's some lights on the ceiling and stuff, it's really dark place. Their faces would be much darker. I could barely notice anything if they didn't put a lot of effects on here. But they do such a good job in doing that it doesn't seem unnatural at all, and they stick out so well. You know, even here the background is blurred a little bit, but the foreground, their faces, especially their faces, but also in general their clothing and their hair and stuff, is very bright, exposed, and also just not blurred at all, very focused. So I really like the way they did this. Overall, this is a really good comeback, really good song, and just music video, honestly. So I don't have anything bad to say. The only subconsciously bad thing, if you want to say, I could say is that I'm not so sure if this is going to become one of my favorite songs. I don't think it is, but it's definitely a very fun song, and I can vibe to this. Um, it gives me similar vibes, also like SF9's Good Boy, in a sense of the sound of it. You know, it's like this classy, very mature type of, but still sexy sound and concept, and they just embody that really well. And yeah, it's super fun. It's not my favorite type of concept that's possible, but maybe it is for boy groups actually. You know, I think that this is probably the best boy group could do for me personally. I'm not a huge boy group fan anymore in terms of sounds. You know, I have a hard time these days in K-pop. I think that's just this generation, because in the older generations, third, second, first gen, although I don't know much first gen yet, it's much more that I like the boy group side. So I think it's just a fourth generation thing right now, or in general just the time of K-pop, the sound of K-pop right now, especially for boy groups, that I have a hard time sometimes with. But yeah, anyways, I'm ending it here. I talked a lot, so let me know your thoughts of UP10TION's spin-off, and please stream it. The original link is in the comment section. And if you're interested in more content, then you can visit my Patreon, which with a link in the description as well. You know, or on the website kultimo.com. That's why it's here. And you can find stuff like last year's reactions, TV show reactions, album reviews, and also K-drama reactions on there. So if you're interested, you know, you can just check it out. Have a nice day, and peace.